design. So for those of you working on the paper mosaic project, in trying to figure out how to explain this, breaking down the values, I'm going to use Photoshop. This is normally what we would do just by hand, like drawing on top of your printed image in the classroom, which is what I'm going to encourage you to do. But of course, if there are some of you that are Photoshop savvy and follow along pretty easily with what I'm going to do here, this is also a digital option to help you kind of create your map of where your different values are going to go. So, recap, here I have an image profile of a student, nice high contrast. And what I'm trying to do right now is simply identify where the various values are, where I would put different shades of the color that I'm going to use. So a quick and easy way to just visualize that for right now is to do this thing called posterizing in Photoshop, which on my toolbar is this button right here. Where I hover over it, it says create a new posterize adjustment layer, which I've already done. So I'm going to turn that layer on. And this is what it translates to. And really, it's just helping flatten out the image so you can see, aha, this is where I might put my first value, in other words, my lightest one, then my second lightest one, then the third, then the fourth, then the fifth. What you're then doing, of course, is in color. So I laid a color on top so you can see ultimately what your paper mosaic might end up looking like. Of course, non-digital and made with this beautiful textural paper that you're going to apply in pieces with glue. So in paper, what I would do, click these back off now that you're getting the big picture idea, is basically on your printed sheet. I think a great way to go about it is to take a pencil and to outline areas of different values. So what that might look like, I'm going to draw it. Let me change my color. I'm going to try and draw it digitally, which I never have as much control as if I had an actual pen or pencil. But maybe what I would start to do is just outline the areas where I see all my brightest values. Oops. And then I could simply number them if I want to. So I'm going to say this is 1, 1, 1, as in my lightest value. In other words, my color mixed in with the most amount of white. Okay. here. Okay, so now I'll go to the next darker value. Start to outline those shapes. And then I could label those with a 2. And I would continue this process so on and so forth. Oh, I guess these two, maybe I'd have a little bit of 3 on the edge here. Yeah, these might be more like 3s. Call that a 1. I keep going here. And at this point, maybe I would even call this my 5, my darkest. Some of this area too is going to be a 5, of course. The brow will be a 5. Giving this a 4. Probably some more 4. A lot of this is going to be 4. 4. And there's clearly some subtleties in here that as you work, you would sort of change a few things. But hopefully you're catching my drift of how you go about this. You can kind of almost make it like a paint by number. If that's helpful. Essentially, you are mapping out where your values go. Once again, values are the lightness and darkness of a color. If you're taking the extra challenge of doing 2 colors here, you know, maybe you would assign, let's say, yellow to your 1s and your 2s and your 3s, perhaps, and then purple to your 4s and your 5s. And that's totally up to you. Okay, hopefully that's helpful. Once again, this is something I would do on pencil on my printed image, but clearly you can see it is possible to do with Photoshop too, if that's something you're already used to. If I go back to my posterized setting, you'll see there's definitely obviously like some other further ways that this could be broken down. There's no right or wrong to this really, so long as you're getting the form of the face and showing where the lights and the darks are with your different values. Have fun.